Pensions have been a heated topic in recent years. More notably, it's been the subject of violent protests in France. But pension reforms have been happening all around the world, and one major reason is the pension fund cannot sustain an aging population with a dwindling workforce. These reforms and uncertainty around state pensions have given rise to resentment from the public, with some even accusing the government of running a Ponzi scheme. For example, here's an article from a leading think tank, the Adam Smith Institute. Here's another article by The Telegraph making similar arguments. Links to these articles are in the description. Now, these are fairly strong accusations, but in this video you'll see that the idea is not actually that far-fetched. However, in order to assess whether state pensions are a Ponzi scheme, we first need to understand what exactly is a Ponzi scheme. In general, a Ponzi scheme is a scam which operates by using funds from new investors to pay returns to earlier investors. This gives the illusion that the scheme is a profitable enterprise when in fact it's merely shuffling money from new participants to older ones. Charles Ponzi popularized this scam in the 1920s, promising investors a 50% return in just 45 days. However, no legitimate business was driving these returns. It was merely a financial carousel spinning on incoming investor money. More recently, financier Bernie Madoff's investment firm was exposed in 2008 as a massive Ponzi scheme, eradicating an estimated $65 billion of client investments. Despite appearing credible due to his reputation, Madoff was simply shuffling funds between investors. The scheme collapsed during the 2008 financial crisis, leading to Madoff's imprisonment. And here's the thing, ultimately Ponzi schemes are doomed to fail when new investor recruitment slows and the funds needed to pay earlier investors run dry. So why do people say state pensions are a Ponzi scheme? As mentioned earlier, the world population is aging and fertility rates are dropping. This means that the working age population is shrinking compared to the retired population. This wouldn't be a problem if your national insurance contribution was set aside from your earnings into a separate pot. But it's not. The national insurance you're paying now is used to pay the state benefits now, not state benefits in the future. One key element in the Ponzi scheme comparison is retirement expectation. When you pay national insurance, you expect a decent state pensions when you retire. I mean, you've worked hard for decades to contribute towards the state pensions. It's only normal you'd expect a decent payout. Here's the thing, it may not happen because there's no guarantee. Because of the aging population, as time goes by, fewer people will be contributing to the national insurance pot. In addition, benefits are costing more due to inflation. Now, remember the Ponzi scheme? If new people stop joining, the scheme implodes. Well, that's exactly what will happen if nothing changes. So you can see why people have argued it's like a Ponzi scheme and unfair to the new generation. Inevitably, the government needs to raise national insurance contributions or increase retirement age. In practice, they do both. The qualifying age for state pension in the UK is expected to rise from 66 to 67 and even 68. So this moving goalpost is understandably making people angry as well. But what do I personally think? Well, it's got elements of a Ponzi scheme for sure, but a Ponzi scheme is strictly speaking promising huge returns with no viable investment strategy to grow the funds and relies purely on funds from new joiners. But we know state pensions aren't going to make us a lot of money and we know how it works, so it's transparent. So that element of a hidden black box generating huge mysterious returns is not present and therefore not strictly a Ponzi scheme in my opinion. But I definitely think there are some real unfairness happening, especially what will fall on the shoulders of the new generation. I mean, they'll have to deal with a large government deficit, rampant inflation, unaffordable housing, job insecurity, along with climate change, increasing crime rates, and an overwhelmed healthcare system. It's challenging times to say the least. So what do you think? Is it a Ponzi scheme? Is it a fair system? Let me know in the comments. And also remember to like and subscribe if you like the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.